like I'm guessing most people here, I've been to a couple of these kind of master classes. Really liked Louisa's approach. Although I'd done a lot of kind of coaching and sort of work on money otherwise, this was the thing that kind of connected the dots and led to that further success. Got a lot from the community too, so you will meet a lot of like-minded people in there, and already forged some really quite strong relationships there with other members, which has been fantastic. To where I was at versus where I've got to, I'm now consistently having £10,000 months, which is fantastic, and I'm sure Louise is open to having a call with you if you are interested in what else she offers. Just kind of really lean into it and trust your instinct.
A friend recommended that I get in touch with Louisa, so I did this actual course, 6 months ago, and I've been in her group course. And the good news is all of the things we just tested, I tested correctly. So the work has really helped. And what I would say about Louisa's work and Louisa herself is that she has encyclopedic knowledge. It's amazing. The ego and the blocks and the wounds can be very tricky, and they can be very sly, and they hide in corners. But doing the course has helped me shine a light on oh, there that is. Okay, let's deal with that. This has been such a wonderful experience for me, and I just really treasure being in the community, being with Louisa, and being a beneficiary of her good work and her beautiful soul.
I started working on the alignment practice, how much I could feel the energy, and it was something that I'd never felt before. And I was like, always kind of, read The Secret, been into the energy, the universe, but this was like, okay, this is another level now. And it was from there I continued with the manifesting practices, and I was living in the energy of, how can I grow my business? What is it I need to do next? And I just got this download of, you need to learn to do this for your clients. You need to help your clients align their energy. So I think it's just, being fully supported, the amount of information, is actually on my to-do list to just literally rewatch everything again, because there is so much to take in. Like any kind of study and any work, any self-development, it's like watching a film, isn't it? You don't see everything the first time. Each time something new is discovered. The various courses that or codes, if you like, that we have within the Helix method, so the wealth codes, the self-love codes, and so on, it means I've got an array of kind of tools to pull from. Just do it. Yeah, just like I'm a big believer in we're here, things land at the right time. So if you're here and you're considering it, then there's a reason for that.
And I can honestly tell you, it's been amazing. My clients were coming that I hadn't seen in a long time. I have been getting booked with my online clients as well, and I've gone from $2,100, which is about average over this last year, to over $5,000 in 1 month. So I'm pretty damn excited. And then there's been a lot of ego that's come up. And with that, Louisa has helped us soothe the ego, release what is the story or the belief behind it all. So it seems to be an easier process, for which I am very grateful. And if you're thinking about joining the Wealth Portal and you're on the fence and you're not sure, it's the best investment so far that I've done in a long, long time. So I would highly, highly recommend it.
Louisa's client results are the things that really, they speak for themselves. I've learned to give myself permission to pivot, and that business can be fun. I play with my business now, and I need to play. I have a sense of freedom now from working with Louisa, that I can let go of the attachment to numbers. They no longer define how successful I feel. That feeling comes from within. So if you are sitting on the fence considering investing in yourself by joining Louisa's World, I can only say, just do it.
I decided to embark on the Infinite Prosperity Collective after that. It was a time when I started with both programs, and that I realized that if I wanted to take my business to the next level, the access to an amazing bank of resources. You know, Louisa is extremely generous and has got a lot of resources that she built in our containers, especially in the IPC.
One, it has expanded my business. I met last year's goals back in August, and it's continuing to go from there. I really understood and discovered what resistance felt like in my body. I definitely understand the other side of that, and I now know what alignment feels like, and I understand how much easier it is to bring in the things that you want. What it has also helped me to do is to develop my own fine-tuning skills. And as I move through this program and I feel into the energies that I am actually releasing through each module, what it has allowed for me to do is to feel that in others. And so as an intuitive, I'm now able to transcribe that energy with my clients, which has allowed for them to have even more profound results, which is amazing. I've discovered a community that is so supportive and so loving. The women in this group are amazing, and Lou is amazing.
Say this to you. Nothing has shifted my personal life or the life of my clients faster than working with the amazing set of skills and tools that come with the Helix method. So if you're looking for something to explore that's going to enhance your practice as well as your personal life and give you a heads up like nothing you've ever seen, my strong recommendation is that you check out the Helix method.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is just wonderful to see you all. Hello, hello. Let's see who is here. Hello. To see some familiar faces, and a huge welcome to everybody, and welcome to those of you that I am yet to meet. Looking forward to getting to know you whilst we are here together in the energetic edge. Who's excited for our time together? Let me know in the comments. I can see lots of smiling faces. This is awesome. So awesome. Oh, fantastic. So welcome to the identity upgrade. This is our first session together, and whether you've carved out time to join me live, or if you're catching the replay because you're fast asleep right now, a huge welcome to you. And for those of you who are live, I would love to hear, where are you tuning in from? And also, if this is your first energetics experience with us, or if you've come before, let me know in the chat. And replay crew, let me know in Telegram. I always read every message, so I'd be delighted to continue the conversation in there. So I hope everybody is in our private group. If you need the link for that, just let the team know, and we'll be sure to get that over to you. So welcome to our world at Trifolium. My intention over the next 4 days is to help you activate a shift in you so that you can really experience this in your reality, in your operating system. So you start to see the impact. Oh, some people have got some new hairstyles. Hello, welcome. Oh, this is fantastic. So I know for many of you, you are established leaders, you're founders, you're CEOs, you're investors, and strategy isn't the bottleneck. You know that because you're here. We know identity is. And our mission at Trifolium is to elevate the consciousness, wealth, and leadership of entrepreneurs who are ready to rise beyond the identities that they've outgrown and embody their highest expression. And we're a global academy for identity evolution, energetic mastery, and multidimensional wealth creation. And we hold an inclusive, equitable, diverse community rooted in conscious leadership and liberation. This is so exciting to see that you are all here, and more familiar faces and new faces are jumping on. So do let us know where you're tuning in from. And if this is your first time with us, or if you've been here before, the energetic edge is for high-level entrepreneurs who are carrying significant emotional and leadership responsibility. Perhaps you're experiencing pressure, visibility, and innovation demands that are rising faster than your nervous system can stabilize to. And you're noticing inconsistent income despite strong delivery, or you're noticing that there's like a capacity ceiling, even with the fact that you're doing all the right things. So you know that you're meant for more, but something's showing up and creating a resistance or some leakage in your ability to hold more. So this is the space for you and for the leader whose business has outgrown their identity. And you know that your next level demands a different internal blueprint. Let me know if that resonates. If you're like, yep, I'm in the right room. Fantastic. This is so cool to see. And I will let you know at the end, there is a deeper way that we can work together, and I'll speak about that later. But for now, let's open our first session together, session 1. And I just want to speak to this for a moment because 2025 has exposed a truth in many industries. And let me know if this resonates in your industry. What have you been seeing in your industry? And I've seen this across the entrepreneurial space where, and ultimately, leaders are having resistance and impact within their life, not because of a strategy issue, but actually because of an outdated identity. So you can have the team, the services, the excellence, the customers, the intelligence. But if your identity is calibrated to a former version of you, then every area of your business pays for it. Identity is the operating system of your business. That's a write it down. I would love everybody to think about, well, what does that mean for me? My identity is the operating system of your business. And the thing is, when your operating system is outdated, it doesn't matter how advanced your software is, your strategy is, it's going to freeze under pressure. And this is why you can have the plateaus. This is why you can have, income collapsing after, your biggest month. This is why decision making can suddenly become slow or emotionally reactive. And you're like, no, I'm really good at making decisions. And this is why innovation stalls, even when your vision is really strong. There's a part that no one says out loud that, and this is so key, is that when your identity is lagging behind your ambition, your vision, you pay for it in revenue, in emotional clarity, in your team's performance, and strategic timing as well. And as I was tuning into the records earlier, we're in December now, in November, I was shown that 2026 is the year of innovation because, and this is about self-innovation, it's not just about the technological innovation that we're all seeing happening at the rate of knots. I invite you to think of the innovation for you in 2026 as internal. Think of this as your identity innovation, your capacity innovation, your coherence innovation, your emotional stability, your leadership consciousness innovation. Because at your level, the cost of not innovating your internal architecture, it's immediate, it's quantifiable. And see if this resonates. You see repeated income ceilings, perhaps you're seeing profit leaking, inconsistent cash flow, your nervous system burnout, poor decision velocity. And what I mean by that is making decisions at a very slow speed. We need to make decisions quickly in our businesses, and implement quickly. Maybe this resonates for you. Your visibility tolerance is collapsing. So you've kind of expanded your visibility as much as you feel safe to do so in your body, but actually that next level is requiring that next level of visibility. So I invite you to think of, instead of this aspect being personal development, think of it as your operational integrity. And that the identity that got you to this point in 2025 is not the identity equipped to lead you in 2026. Does that resonate? Let me know if that resonates. So we're diving into the identity today, and tomorrow we're going to build on this with nervous system capacity expansion for your wealth, visibility, and innovation. Wednesday, we're entering the prosperity field. And in our bonus session, I'm going to guide you through a future self progression inside the Akashic Records. That is on Thursday. And each day builds on the day before. And each day we are doing a giveaway for those of you who are live with us. All you have to do is share your takeaways at the end of each session, and we'll pop your name into the draw and we'll announce the winner at the end of the session. And you can also be entered into our prize draws by sharing that you're in the Energetic Edge on your social media. We do have an infographic that we can share in the Telegram, or pop it over to you if you ask us for it, if it feels aligned to share. Do remember to tag us so that we know that you've shared it, and then we'll pop your name into the big draw where you can win our Akashic Record Ultimate Collection, which is 3 activations that you can listen to on demand to download your highest timeline. And we're also going to be drawing for a year's membership inside our Dream Bigger, the Visionarium membership, where you'll amplify your intuition and access to higher self-intelligence. You can dream bigger and create that reality. So super excited to see who's going to be winning those. And thank you so much for everyone who has been sharing already. We truly, truly appreciate you. So just to set the stage before we dive into setting our intentions and really getting into this, I really want everybody to kind of take stock and think about, we're going into 2026, but you're not entering the new year with a blank slate. You get to take everything with you. You're entering it with the identity that's currently running you, and that identity is determining your current ceiling. So if your identity is calibrated to last year's limits, then next year can only replicate last year's outcomes. Might have a little tinge of, different seasoning, but ultimately it will feel, and you'll be hitting the same ceilings. And that's the cost of holding an outdated identity. It's really tangible. And again, I would love to hear what resonates for you. Perhaps you've recognized that you've been repeating the same income ceiling, or losing emotional steadiness under pressure. So that impacts your decision making. Leaking profit through decision making, contractions, feeling like you can't hold the visibility of the wealth that you're calling in, feeling like you want to kind of hot potato it away, spend it quickly, or you burn out because your identity can't hold the level that you're operating at. It can also show up as, you're misreading market signals because your system is dysregulated. And so ultimately you're slowing down the momentum because decision-making becomes emotionally charged. So I want you to think of identity work as removing the exact identity level constraints that are capping your revenue, your capacity, your emotional stability, your leadership. And without this, that, everything else just becomes heavier, slower, more inconsistent if we don't do this inner work. And just to give you an example of, what this really looks like in the real world. And again, let us know like what you've noticed when you're doing the inner work and what shifted for you. A private advisory client came to me with a multi-6-figure business and rapidly increasing demand. And, on paper, strong brand, high conversions, and a loyal customer base. But what was going on internally, their identity was still calibrated to that version of themselves who built their first 6 figures, not the version capable of sustaining that 6 figures and growing into multi-6 figures and high 6 figures. And this misalignment, what the impact of that was, what they were seeing in their business was revenue spikes followed by this immediate contraction, emotional volatility during periods where their visibility was increased, decision fatigue. Who feels like I can't make another decision, or gets to the end of the day, we're like, I don't know what to have for dinner. I've made too many decisions today. Is it spaghetti, or could somebody just like tell me what to eat? But decision fatigue is a real thing. And imagine, when we've got that showing up in terms of what we're trying to choose for dinner, the energy of that is showing up in our business, whether it's we're delaying hiring somebody, or we're not delegating or under delegating, and perhaps having reactive choices instead because we haven't made the decision in alignment with where we want to go. So these have huge tangible impacts. And the measure of not upgrading their identity in this case was tens of thousands every quarter. And once we upgraded their identity and stabilized their nervous system and cleared the energy reversals around success equals pressure, it's like a burden, then their income stabilized, the revenue flow increased, their decision making felt more effortless, less decision fatigue, and visibility became more natural. They were in their flow again. And nothing in their strategy had changed. Once the identity holding it had changed, then the business saw the impact. So until your identity upgrades, the business can't. Okay, so we've had some context there. Before we dive in deeper, let's just take a moment just to land together, take a nice deep breath, let your shoulders drop. Take a moment just to call your energy back from people, places, timelines, and spaces. Give yourself a nice couple of letting go breaths. And from this space, I invite you to think, what is my intention for this energetic edge? How do I want to feel as I step into 2026? Take a moment just to really connect with that intention. And I invite you to think, what's the impact and the income that you desire for these next 3 months? As we're wrapping up 2025, stepping into 2026, so we're looking at the next 90 days, what's the impact and the income that you desire? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how aligned do you feel to that today? So just take a moment to tune into that. And do pop your intention and how you want to feel into the chat. I do read all the comments, every single one. I would love to know how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, and if you're up for it, the income and the impact that you desire to create over the next quarter. This will help me tailor this experience for you. And this is key because, there are subtle nuances as to how your energy is shaping your income and your business results. And what I'm sharing with you today is the exact practices that I've used to guide CEOs, investors, high earning founders into their next level. And this is how I navigate through the emotional stickiness that always comes up when I've expanded beyond my inner default set points. And for those of you who are getting to know me, I can see some new faces here. We've been in business for over 9 years now. That blows my mind. I know some of you have been with me for that entire journey. So thank you so much for being in our world. It's wonderful. We've known each other for 9 years. Can you believe it? That's insane. It's flown by. It feels like a year. But we've been in business for 9 years, and I have over 20 years of leadership, success, and business coaching, a background in psychology and energetics, and I teach and train coaches in Akashic Records and energy psychology with our Helix methodology. I'm the founder of the Helix method. I am a single mum to my 2 now very adult sons. As Alf's 27, but he's going, oh my God, I'm nearly 30. So I keep thinking I've nearly got a 30-year-old son. Alf's 27, Mo's 24, and we're all currently living in Thailand. And, when I left my social services role as a senior manager, and I did that for 13 years, I just had a whisper of a dream of this kind of expat lifestyle. And I dreamt for it. I hoped for it. I certainly wasn't sure if it was really true and I could create it, but I knew I had perseverance. I was adaptable and I had to go for it. And what I found was, the thing was, initially, I left the corporate hamster wheel and I just literally replaced it with the entrepreneurial one. I don't know if anyone else has done that corporate swap and you're like, hang on a second, what is going on? I left to get away from all of that and I've just gone and brought it with me. And really, what's happened, we've got different environments, but the same person. And so we have the same experience. And whilst in those first year, 2 years, we grew to 6 figures and we were working with the most wonderful clients, but it wasn't sustainable and it was exhausting. I was studying, I was contemplating all the needle movers, what's really going to make the difference. I knew how to grow a successful business, having built and led many, and I've also had burnout before. And so I didn't want to frazzle my nervous system again or work even harder. Again, I don't know if that resonates. I know burnout has impacted so many people. And for every client I've worked with, whether they're running a multi-7-figure company or a 500K a year boutique style operation, this is always the turning point. And when I left social services, I thought I'd feel such lightness as I'd coordinated, I'd arranged all of this. This is what I wanted. And I was so confused by the emotional roller coaster that was going on. The resistance was real. Let me tell you that the resistance was really real. And what really shook me was when I realized what the emotion was beneath all of that, it was grief. And I was grieving who I thought I was, that version of myself. I was in the state of who on earth am I without that role? I was so used to firefighting and the survival of social services. My nervous system was on edge. That was my default set point. And my body was so used to that. That was the normal. And that anything that was spacious felt uncomfortable. And I could just feel myself getting pulled back to the normal experiences, i.e. experiences my consciousness had had before, such as cutting services because there wasn't enough money. I've had 13 years of redesigning services so that they would perform better. But the backdrop to that was that we had to save money as the public sector just didn't have enough. And so that energy and that identity of being, very capable, strong leader through times of change came with me. I was the calm within the storm. And I realized I had bought into that illusion that I was somehow that role, that was me. That was a huge part of my identity. And at that point, I didn't really know who I was because I've just been so busy wearing this busy mask. I've got to do. And then from that experience, I threw myself into my new role. And it was when I started to create my new identity, I had the revelation, that how I perceived myself and my identity was absolutely key to the kind of life that I was creating, the kind of business that I was creating, the experiences that I was having in my operating reality. And I'm sure this resonates, as your businesses have grown, I'm sure you've seen it, the version of you that got you to your current level, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever level you're at. I know we have people here at all different stages of business. But that version is so different to the one who started your business or started their investing to where you are right now. And you've seen how much more is required of yourself along your journey. When I say required of yourself, I don't mean doing more. This is around expanding your consciousness. And at the speed at which we evolve our consciousness has a direct impact at how quickly we're collapsing timelines and changing our operating reality. So let's have a conversation about the patterns that you're seeing in your world right now. So please do use the chat as your journal. I'm going to pop some reflections on the screen for you. Hang on, where have you all gone? Let's see. Let's pop these up here. Okay. Alrighty, so let's dive into these. Let's just take a moment. This is a bit of a pulse check before we start diving into doing the energy work. So when you're looking back at the last 6 to 12 months, how would you describe the flow of your income? And after a big win or a big revenue month, what tends to happen? Do you expand easily, or are you noticing how you might need to pull back? Let's take a moment to contemplate that. And what happens when you have a business plateau? Do you contract back? What do you notice? Or do you roll up your sleeves and get to work harder? And I invite you to contemplate when you imagine your next level of income, what's that first feeling that comes up? Is it excitement? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Or something else? Okay, keep these comments coming and see the chat. Okay, this is great to flush these all out. And what's the narrative then that you're telling yourself if you're having an initial feeling of doubt, fear? What's the narrative you're telling yourself? If you're feeling excited, what's the narrative you're telling yourself? If you're feeling neutral, what's the narrative that you're telling yourself? Whatever surface for you here, these are the breadcrumbs that lead us to your hidden identity patterns. Thank you so much for sharing these. And your speed of getting into energetic alignment is what directly impacts your ability to grow to that next level. So what we're seeing here are the surface signs of deeper unconscious patterns. These patterns are revealing how your consciousness is programmed. And sometimes that programming, let's just move that there. Okay, perfect. Shows up as resistance that you can feel, where you say you want things and then your unconscious identity is pulling you back. And today we're going to be diving into the 4 upper limit fears beneath these patterns. So I'm going to show you how to identify those. And the thing is, what we all want is to move beyond the resistance that we feel that keeps the thing the same. It can feel like Groundhog Day, can't it, when it's locked in? We want to feel truly free, like you can create anything you desire, feel like that we're operating at our highest level, our best self, to hit our next quarter goals without frazzling the nervous system. That's key. Without feeling like we've got to work harder and harder, or missing out on our, whatever our kids are up to, soccer games, baseball games, all the things. And I know that everyone here knows that business isn't for the faint-hearted, and it won't always be easy. And the only constant is change, and there will be work. And sometimes we do need to take more action than others and put in more time and commitment, and we need to work efficiently and effectively. The thing is, overall, it will be easier when you build up your levels of belief, confidence, competence in how your consciousness creates your reality and your income by mastering the wealth energetics. So let's normalize that it's, normal to face challenges in business and in life. Life is going to carry on lifing. But what's not normal is keeping that self-belief, the faith, allowing all the feelings, the doubt, the fear, the grief, allowing all the feelings alongside the joy, the love, the gratitude, accepting all the experiences through the challenges, through the growth curve. And this is what I'm going to help you to do. Okay, these are awesome, seeing your comments coming in. Alrighty, so take a moment to just pop into the comments again and so I can see what's coming up for everyone here. So we've got, what is the story you're telling yourself as to why your business or your wealth is where it is today? What's the narrative? Okay, so I can see some comments coming in. And the other question I want you to contemplate as you look at the narrative is, are you taking full energetic responsibility for your reality? Because we hold such duality, don't we? We can hold our vision and our desires, and then we have this duality of embodied fears in our energetic field, impacting our vibration and our coherence in the vibration that we're sending out into the universe. And that's where we find ourselves going on this, vibrational roller coaster, because our vibration is affected by our identity, the environment, the results. It all creates a feedback loop from our energy corresponding with our reality. So I'm giving you this simple model for mastering energetics, how you refine your frequency so you can expand your income with precision. And what we want to do is create the consciousness of your future self by multidimensional healing and energetic success habits. This is how we create that rapid, long-lasting change. And for this, I really want everyone to understand. I know many of you coaches and therapists, you'll be familiar with this, but inviting you to contemplate in terms of your consciousness and thinking about your frequency. So for those of you that are new to this, your consciousness is made up of 3 levels of consciousness, and they all need to be in alignment to manifest effortlessly. So you've got your higher self, your soul, your conscious mind, your subconscious, and the subconscious level is creating our reality in line with all the programming it has received throughout this lifetime, your birth, your parents, transgenerational patterns, media programming, societal, cultural programming, when you're in your mum's womb, ancestral patterns, all the things. All of this makes up your identity, and your identity informs your reality model, your self-concepts. They inform your beliefs, your emotions. That all impacts your behavior and whether you actually take action or not. All of this makes up your human Wi-Fi, your vibration and your magnetism. And I just want to take a moment when we think about the levels of consciousness, actually what's happening from an energetic perspective. And the simple way to think of this is that in energy psychology, we talk of 3 energetic states within the expansion state and the contraction state. You've got the flow state. This is the one we all want. This is when we're aligned with our desires, things are slotting into place more easily. Our nervous system is feeling safe. Our higher self is just surpassing herself with the wisdom and the intuition that is dropping in. We can feel the flow. We can absolutely feel it. And then we have the contraction state. And there are 2 things going on in the contraction state. We've got resistant energy and reversed energy. And in relation to energy reversals or reversed energy, this describes energy flowing in the opposite direction to what it would normally be. And when you have energy reversals, you can become stuck or frozen in time or in a particular way of being, so much so that it reverses the flow of energy around that subject, creating an energetic default set point, one that you keep returning to. Does that resonate? And the energy reversals are being, where do they come from? They come from experiences in our past where we were shocked or traumatized or didn't have a coping strategy for that particular event. And our nervous system is triggered. And the flight, fright, freeze, fawn, block response was set off, and that imprint is held in our subconscious and in our energy field. And so any time that we have another circumstance that is connected to this in our subconscious, this energetic loop is re-triggered. Even if we think our conscious mind is like, that's not connected, doesn't matter. If your subconscious has made the connection, it's there. And when we feel them triggered, then we can go into that contraction. And the resistant energy, this is created from a subconscious protection of a fear that is part of your current identity. And today I want to introduce you to the 4 upper limit fears. And we're going to find out how they've been impacting you this year. And there are some patterns, that these are some of the patterns that I clear with our clients inside the Wealth Portal and my private advisory. And when they release these, you can see a big impact in their business so swiftly. It's super exciting. And in the Wealth Portal, we dive in deep into our framework with I've got the core fears and the upper limit fears. So you know exactly which ones are running for you, what's been activated, so that you can clear them, change your identity, the energy frequency that you're sending out, so it's no longer dictating your income or slowing down your manifesting results. So to remember that our resistance is created through our identity, with thoughts, beliefs that are all in alignment with our old identity that we've outgrown. We need to take a new version of ourselves for a spin. And we want to change these reversals and resistances and get all of that energy into the flow state where we're open to receiving. Our nervous system is feeling regulated, and we can feel the alignment across all levels of our consciousness and our energetic being. Because when we're in flow and in that coherent state, we've got more energy. We manifest faster. Things feel easier. Truly, the easier it gets, the easier it gets. That's the expansion and flow that we want to get more of our energy field into. And this is what we're up to with the Helix method. I think this is the most important focus that we can have for ourselves and for our family and our businesses in this world. So let's take a quick pulse check. as I share those energetic impacts in terms of resistance and energy reversals, what resonated for you? What went, where did you go, I think there might be an energy reversal at play, or I think there might be some resistance kicking in. If you think of the different areas of your wealth, your business, so from business, sales, marketing, products, the clients that you're working with, cash flow, your leadership, any areas of resistance there. Where is resistance shutting you down from taking action, hiring that team member, launching that new service? Or, and this one comes up so often, were you doing the things that were working and then you stopped? Default set point kicked in, let's pull her back. I always say this, but I think it's, I want everyone to get a tattoo of it. Your subconscious has 100% success rate in delivering its programming. So this is why if we really want to grow our businesses and to intentionally create our reality, this is the inner work that is absolutely key to making this so much more easy and more effortless. So where are you recognizing energy reversals? Where are you recognizing resistance? Our wealth consciousness underpins all of this, and it's interlinked into all aspects of our business. We need to continue to nurture our wealth consciousness throughout our entrepreneurial life, as every new level invites us to require more of ourselves, become a new level of ourselves, because it is through our consciousness that we create our reality, and our reality is a reflection of our consciousness. And the thing is if we're disconnected from our higher self, then we haven't got the energetic support of our higher self on board for manifesting. So we want to have our higher self, our subconscious, our conscious mind aligned and working together for our manifesting. And that is the first step in our helixing practice, which I'm going to introduce you today. And then we're going to build on this tomorrow and be diving in deeper. Now, just ask the team if they can share the guide for today. That would be super helpful. I will have this all up on the screens as well. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be unlocking what's held in your subconscious and use energy kinesiology to find your hidden money blocks. We're going to use the sway technique from applied kinesiology. And then we're going to use the power of intention, invocation, and breath work to release what isn't serving and align to what will create the reality that we desire. And to give you some context before we start pinpointing what is quietly shaping your income and your business results, I want to share these fears with you. And we're going to focus on 4 today. And these fears often surface after you've cleared the old trauma and you're setting that next big vision or goal, which is why we're focusing on these at this time. And your system, your consciousness is saying, hang on a second, are we really safe to hold this much success, to hold this much joy, to hold this much love? And these 4 upper limit fears in entrepreneurial growth are fear of being fundamentally flawed, fear of disloyalty and abandonment, fear that success brings a bigger burden, and the fear of outshining others. And the thing is, at higher levels, your fears evolve. You know, it's no longer a fear of failure. It's a fear of being unable to hold success without breaking. And this is what I mean about the subtle nuances. You may feel like you had a fear of visibility or not being seen. And now it's a fear of sustaining visibility without emotional strain. It may have once been a fear of not having clients, but now it's evolved into a fear of being unable to serve at the level that you're called to. And these are upper limit fears, and they are impacting your performance, your success in business. And the higher you rise, actually, the more expensive they become. So we're going to dive into these 4 upper limit fears. And I would love to know what resonates for you. So if we think of the fear of being fundamentally flawed and what is going on in the world right now, you know, in a climate of rapid change, increased competition, this fear often emerges as over-analysis paralysis. Anyone recognize that one? So maybe you're waiting longer before launching your product or service. Perhaps you're iterating the same thing, or this repeated cycle over and over, or second guessing yourself. And then all of that delays how you're implementing things. It can also show up as underpricing or discounting, because beneath the surface, there's this unspoken belief of I'm not worthy of this level of pricing. And in a market where clients value expertise and pay premium rates for your expertise, for your confidence, that self-doubt is suppressing your income potential. And as entrepreneurs, you might see your peers scaling fast, and this fear then shows as imposter syndrome, resulting in burnout, over delivery, exhaustion. There's a whole spaghetti of things that can go on here because you're overcompensating to prove a worth rather than stepping into embodied leadership. And this matters now because we are in a very fast moving economy, and delay kills opportunity. Underpricing costs not just in terms of income, but impacts your positioning, your brand value, and of course your long-term growth and your impact. So let me know if that one resonated. We're going to be muscle testing these in a second. So of course your conscious mind is going to have a narrative, but we're going to see what's revealed when we start to energy test these. Then we have the fear of disloyalty or abandonment. And with shifting client expectations and evolving frameworks, this fear can show up as resistance to evolving your business, sticking to safe but outdated services instead of innovating. Has anyone seen the Blackberry movie on Netflix? I think it is. That is a brilliant example of resistance to evolving. They had the market share and then they lost it all. So from your perspective, anywhere that you're feeling like I've got to stick to this being safe instead of innovating, that worry impacting you, worrying that people are going to judge you, or your supporters, your audience, your customers are going to judge, resist, or leave. And it could show up as refusing to repackage your offers, raising your prices, even when the value and the impact have increased, due to the fear that clients will drift away or feeling alienated. Does that resonate? So this really matters because the markets reward innovation. They reward clarity, premium positioning, and holding back to remain relatable is costing you your visibility, your ideal client attraction, and of course your revenue. And especially as your customers are becoming more discerning as the market evolves. And then in terms of fear that success brings a bigger burden. So we've talked about a lot in my world in the masterclasses previously around burnout and overworking. Do you know what? They're glamorized, and which is just so shocking. We need to knock that one on the head. But that burnout is really huge, and it can show up in terms of, as you're moving forward, a fear to avoid scaling because you're afraid of burning out again. You're afraid of the bigger burden. Perhaps you're putting off hiring or hesitating to delegate, even though the business needs both that leverage and that structure to grow. And it appears as reluctance to invest in infrastructure or team expansion because expansion is feeling more like stress. That makes sense. And it can show up, with the impact of inconsistent growth patterns and so much more. But that's just to give you a flavor of how this can show up in your life so you can see if it resonates. And, with shifting market demands and global competition, fast innovation cycles, and trying to hold growth in a survival-based nervous system, that is just becoming unsustainable. You need the recalibration. So the growth feels like you're creating an asset rather than a liability. There's some big things to kind of think about in terms of where these are in our identity field and how they're impacting our current reality. And the last one, just to speak to this briefly before we dive into the helixing and the energetic activations, is the fear of outshining. So this fear manifests as undersharing successes. Perhaps it also shows up as delaying your launches of products. You're just sort of toning yourself down, don't want to be so visible, staying safe. It can also show up as settling for smaller wins rather than aiming higher. Anyone else recognize that one? And this really matters now because in a noisy, crowded market, that subtlety often means invisibility, and if you're holding back your brilliance, you underserve your future clients and you're under earning as well. So this really matters. Visibility matters, clarity matters, bold positioning matters, so that you can create the greatest breakthroughs. And over this last year and moving into the next year, so the 2025, 2026 landscape, these spheres are especially impactful because of the pace of change. In your industry that you're in, have you noticed that the pace of change is accelerating across your sector? Let me know in the comments. It's sped up so fast with AI, automations, shifting consumer expectations. Just so much in terms of your relationship with speed is going to be so key. And buyers, investors, teams have become more discerning and are gravitating towards leaders who demonstrate that clarity, that confidence, that stability. And if your identity is not embodied in those qualities as you're stepping into that next level, then your community, your customer base, they're going to feel that energetically, even if they don't know that they are. And every market is saturated, and differentiation now comes from your energetic frequency, from your presence, your conviction, your coherence. This is so key. This is what's going to help you to scale your business as you hold that greater emotional, strategic, and energetic capacity. So we're going to uncover all of this together. We're going to implement this together. This is a done with you identity calibration. Let me know if you are excited to do this. We're creating the foundation of your 2026 operating system. So let me know if you are ready to do some helixing. And I'm going to give you a heads up of how we're going to do this together. We've got this laid out in the guide for you. And then I'm going to just get this next slide up on the screen. So I'm going to guide you through the higher self invocation. Then I will give you a heads up on how to do the energy testing. And then I'm going to give you some phrases to test in relation to these upper limit fears. We'll create some space to do the clearing in relation to this. And then I'm going to guide you through doing some imprinting as we're starting to create the new identity of the you who is going to create the success that you desire in 2026. How does that sound? Who's excited? Give me a yes in the comments if you are ready and excited to do this. I can so many yeses. This is wonderful. Alrighty. This is fantastic. Alrighty. Can I mention that movie? Blackberry. Do you remember Blackberries? No one remembers Blackberries now. Alrighty. So let me guide you through our higher self invocation. Okay, so this is increasing your life force energy and getting your layers of consciousness in alignment very intentionally for our energetic practice. So I invite you now to take a beautiful breath in for 4, hold for 4, and then breathe out for 8. Find your own rhythm here. And I'm inviting you to do this 3 times. Bringing your awareness as you're doing this to your soul star chakra. So just think of a space above your head, about 18 inches above your head. Just bring your awareness to that as you're breathing. And then affirming to yourself, really notice these words, speaking to all levels of my consciousness. I intend that in the name of divine truth, love and light, let all information come from my higher self and be in alignment with my divine truth for my highest good and the highest good of all. I am creating a clear channel of communication and manifestation between my subconscious, conscious, and higher self so that they are 100% connected and in perfect alignment and all working towards my highest path and purpose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And from this space, just notice how your energy field feels. And take a moment to get ready to energy test. So we are energy testing, or you can call it muscle testing, with the sway technique. Now for this, you're going to stand with your feet hip width apart. relax your knees and close your eyes. And what you're going to do is you're going to say a statement or a question out loud to discover what is hidden in your consciousness. And your body, your energy body, is going to give you a yes or a no. Typically, a forward sway is a yes, a backward sway is a no. Going around and round in circles is an energy reversal, or staying plank-like is an energy reversal. And if you have never done energy testing before, then just take a moment to instruct your consciousness, talk to your body, stand with your feet hip width apart, and say, body, go forwards for a yes and backwards for a no. And then say, yes, yes, yes. And just notice what happens. You may need a little bit of space between when you say the words and your body's response. So don't try and rush it. Just allow it and notice how it feels. And then say no, 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 no. And again, see how that feels. And you may go backwards. If you don't feel like you move, or you go in the opposite direction of what the yes and the no are supposed to do, and give yourself a thymus tap, which is tapping here just at the high heart area. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4, just for about 15 seconds, and then you can do it again. Alrighty. And the other key thing I just want to invite everyone to pay attention to as I share these questions and statements for you to muscle test is you will have a somatic response. So as your consciousness is speaking to you through your body and your energy, notice if you feel hot, cold, there's a pressure sensation that you suddenly notice that you didn't have before. Make a note of all of these as you muscle test these. Alrighty, so let me give you these phrases. Okay, so the first phrase is, I have a fear of being fundamentally flawed. And I want you to test it in relation to your desired outcome over the next 90 days. So I have a fear of being fundamentally flawed, impacting my desired outcome. So impacting my desired, what have we got here in terms of who's here? So, okay, so my desired 10K a month, or it could be if you're an established multi-six-figure business owner, 100K months, you know, whatever your desired income is. So I have a fear of being fundamentally flawed, impacting my desired outcome. Then do the same. I have an energy reversal to do with my fear of being fundamentally flawed. See if you get a yes or a no. And then continue through this list. Again, I have a fear of disloyalty or abandonment, and add in impacting my desired outcome. Does that make sense? I'm going to give you a moment to muscle test these. Okay, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to muscle test these. Any questions, then please do pop them in the chat. Pop a little bit of music on whilst you're doing this. We'll just take a couple of minutes to do this. Let me know when you're complete. I'm catching up and reading all your comments. The phrases are all here on the screen. If you want to, you can screenshot them. Ah, no worries, Angela. Ah, okay. I love it, Katie. Exactly. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Trust your own guidance and intuition and discernment. Okay, so we've got some responses coming in. And in a moment, I will guide you through clearing these. I'll guide you through the first one, and then you'll have some space to do some more clearing. Alrighty. Who else has completed? Give me a done when you've muscle tested, energy tested them all. Lots of yeses. Okay, okay. So this is kind of validating your narrative that you were thinking about earlier about what was going on, or have you found some surprises here? Anyone found some energy reversals that they weren't expecting? Okay, we've got lots of done, done, done. I know everyone's going to move at different paces. We've got replays if you need to kind of circle back and revisit anything. It's all good. We got you. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Jane's done. Patty's done. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Fantastic. So I'm going to just explain how we're going to do the releasing, and then I'll put back up on the screen the sentences that you're going to use to start to clear these fears that are hidden beneath your identity. So we have a releasing phrase that we say out loud once and then twice internally. So we're holding the frequency of it for 17 seconds or more. And it will sound like something like, I'm ready to release the thing. I release and delete this from all dimensions and levels of consciousness. And when we're releasing a belief or an emotion, I invite you to hold CV17. You just hold it at that sort of soft point on the middle of your chest. Just hold it with your hand like that. And when we're releasing an energy reversal, then you tap on the karate chop. You may well be familiar with this from acupressure, acupuncture, or tapping. And you're going to just tap there as we're doing the releasing phrase. Alrighty, I'm going to guide you through the first one. Okay, so I've got it laid out like this. So if you've got all of them, you're going to do all of these. If you've just got a couple, then you're just going to do the ones you're going to do. I'm going to guide you through the first one, which is I'm ready to release the fear of being fundamentally flawed that's impacting my desired outcome. The bit in brackets, desired outcome, I want you there to, say whatever it specifically is that you are releasing, working on. So we're going to do, I'm ready to release the fear of being fundamentally flawed, impacting my desired outcome. I release and delete this across all dimensions and levels of consciousness, and then holding CV17. Does that make sense? If you haven't got that one, just swap out the language as I'm doing this so you can follow along. Hope you're not all seasick. My table's a little bit wobbly. So I just noticed it goes like that every now and then. So hopefully you're not feeling seasick. It's all good. It's the fan blowing on me to keep me cool in this 30-degree heat. That is wobbling the table, would you believe it? Alrighty. Okay, so just taking a nice deep breath, breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Holding CV17 if we're doing this one together. And then saying out loud, I'm ready to release the fear of being fundamentally flawed, impacting my desired outcome. I release and delete this across all dimensions and levels of consciousness. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4. And then silently saying twice, we're going to do this twice, I'm ready to release the fear of being fundamentally flawed, impacting my desired outcome. I release and delete this across all dimensions and levels of consciousness. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. One more time. I'm ready to release the fear of being fundamentally flawed, impacting my desired outcome. I release and delete this across all dimensions and levels of consciousness. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Alrighty, and I invite you now just to do the next one on your list. Just take a moment, probably take you about a minute or so just to clear one more. And then we'll come back together to do the imprinting. Beautiful. How's everybody feeling after clearing 2 there? I know you may have more to do. We are going to run over a little bit of the top of the hour, so just wanted to give you a heads up in case anyone's got a hard stop, that we are going to continue. And the replay will be up within a couple of hours. I want to get everybody into that space where we're starting to imprint into your human Wi-Fi, starting to imprint a new self-concept of your self-innovation of success in 2026. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to move on to creating that aligned coherence. If you have got any more to release, then just circle back in between now and tomorrow's session to release the other ones and to imprint again. And of course, any questions, pop them in the Telegram chat. Alrighty, so for this next piece, I'm so excited to see how you all start to feel after this. We're going to do inner rewiring techniques and a little bit of a mini visualization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to think these thoughts for 30 seconds. We've got I lead with values, I evolve quickly, you want to have speed in your innovation, extraordinary outcomes are normal for me, my influence expands effortlessly, I'm the kind of person who has, and then whatever your revenue desires are for the next 90 days, think about what does that look like as a cash month? Is it 10K cash month? Is it 100K cash month? Is it 600K cash month? Whatever your thing. You're going to think that thought over and over for 30 seconds, and then we're going to do a mini visualization that I'll guide you through for a minute. I'm going to just pop my little timer on here. Alrighty. So just as you start to get yourself ready to do this imprinting, and I'll give you a heads up when to move on because I'm timing this for you. I invite you to bring your heart into a coherent state by breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Feeling your heart getting bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter. Feel your heart filling up with love. I love, I love, I love. And from this space, starting to think the thought over and over, I lead with my values. I lead with my values. Beautiful. Moving on to the next one. I evolve quickly. I evolve quickly. Moving on to the next one. Extraordinary outcomes are normal for me. Moving on to the next one. My influence expands effortlessly. My influence expands effortlessly. Moving on to, I'm the kind of person who has desired cash months. So insert the desired cash month. Beautiful. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I invite you now, just as we're here together, to start to see in your mind's eye a scene with the version of you who already has achieved their desired business growth. Where are you? How are you moving around your house? What action are you taking? See how you're moving, how you're deciding what you've no longer tolerated, how you're moving with speed, how you're relating to your more wealth. And from this space, as we've activated that higher frequency, I invite you to ask this question as if this has already happened. So you're asking it from a place of, it's amazing, how am I surrounded by more wealth and opportunity? How am I surrounded by more wealth and opportunity? And just breathe with it. Don't try and consciously answer it. It's like you're handing it over, giving your higher self a post-it note, handing it over to your higher self. Take care of this one, please. How am I surrounded by more wealth and opportunity? And I just want to create some space so you've got some time just to write down any thoughts that come to you in this now moment. Keep writing them down. You may get some insights now, you may not. It's all good. You've activated it in your field. Just breathe with this question. How am I surrounded by more wealth and opportunity? You get to take one new idea and I invite you to implement it today. We've been talking about speed, so speed of implementation. If you suddenly thought of somebody, just ring them now. Send them a message, see how they're doing. You don't need to know why you suddenly thought of ready to do. You're going to follow yourself is giving you. And I invite you, as you go to sleep tonight, remember me saying this, as your head's touching the pillow, say to yourself 10 times, how am I surrounded by more wealth and opportunity? How am I surrounded by more wealth and opportunity? Oh, how is everybody feeling? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments how you are feeling. You just experienced how quickly the unconscious reveals itself when the right conditions are created and how fast your field responds when the resistance and energy reversals are released at that level. So a lot of energy has been moving, so make sure that you're grounded. If you need to ground, just bring your awareness to the soles of your feet and imagine sending roots down to the ground. Make sure you've got a nice glass of water so you can have a drink. And today I've given you the exact blueprint for diagnosing at the identity level patterns that shaped your 2025 results. Of course, the thing is, knowing this is only 10% of your growth. Integrating it consistently, that's the other 90%. And this is where most high-level entrepreneurs are unintentionally slowing their progress, not because they're lacking capability, but because they're trying to implement an upgraded vision using last year's identity. And as we're entering the year of innovation, like, what's this going to look like for you? Your old identity can become an expensive liability in 2026. And sessions 2 and 3 and our session 4, Akashic Records, Future Self Progression, are going to take you deeper. But the stabilization, the calibration, the embodiment, they happen through that, the support, the structure, the precision. I just want to take a moment before we do the draw, just to give you a heads up. There's two pathways for those of you who are feeling the resonance. And, just for a small number of you, there are two ways that you can work with me to integrate everything that we're opening up here quickly and powerfully. So we have my private advisory. So this is year-long partnerships. And it's a space where we recalibrate your identity in real time, strengthening your nervous system for leadership at scale, stabilizing your emotional steadiness under pressure, refining that decision velocity, unraveling all the resistance patterns and the energy reversals before they're costing you more revenue, so that you can protect your profit, your capacity, and you can have that innovation edge. And this is where you're leading with clarity, internal stability, energetic precision, no matter how fast the market's moving. So for a year with private advisory with me, this is $36,000 for the year, and you can save 10% when you pay in full. I'm opening up 5 spaces for those of you that know that you're ready for that level of partnership in 2026. So if that's you, just message me privately with the word private, and we'll have a chat. I want to make sure that it's the right move for you. And I know that the team have got the link for working with me privately as well. So if you can pop that in the chat for people, that would be super helpful. And then we have the Wealth Portal. This is our 6 months wealth energetic mentorship. This is done with you identity recalibration system that stabilizes so that you're an energetic match to higher income in 45 days or less. And this is for you, you want a structured implementation pathway. You want to be able to rapidly clear the upper limit patterns, the beliefs, the other fears, the resistance. We go deep into the Wealth Portal. So you have that full identity recalibration. Your nervous system is expanded so you can hold more wealth, visibility, and more pressure. And I have a special invitation for you. So this week only, you'll receive $1,000 off the retail investment rate, which is $5,000. So you save $1,000 off that, and then an additional 10% saving for those of you paying in full. So that brings the total to $3,600 for 6 months with me in the Wealth Portal. And you also can enjoy Dream Bigger membership, our Visionarium, as a gift whilst you're inside the Wealth Portal as well. And you can get immediate access. You can start today. We actually have our next live call on Wednesday. We're diving into wealth default set points and how they're impacting your operating realities. I'm super excited about that. And within the Wealth Portal, we've got the most amazing community. And you've got a guided path. You're not trying to figure this all out alone. And just to give you a heads up, these savings are only available during the energetic edge. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, this is my next step, then send us a message or just request the link here. We'll also have the link available on the replay page for you. And this is the invitation. This isn't on my website. If anyone's looking for the link, it's a unique link available to you guys here in the energetic edge. So just to give you a heads up on that. So trust your resonance, what is calling you. Your next level always shows you the doorway, and you just decide whether you walk through it. And before we close, I want to share something very special for those of you who are moving quickly and decisively, because speed is part of your identity calibration in 2026. And so I have a bonus for you, which I very rarely offer publicly. And this is the Wealth Ascension Akashic activation, which is a private one-to-one with me. This is where we visit your highest wealth timeline in the records and activate that exact identity, frequency, and decisions that are creating your next expansion. This is normally reserved for my private clients only. So for this masterclass, I've opened up a small number of these as a fast action gift across both the ways of working with me. So for those of you stepping into private advisory, you'll get this. And I've opened up 3 Wealth Akashic Ascension activations for those of you that are choosing to pay in full for the Wealth Portal. And of course, once the spots are gone, they're gone. So just to give you a heads up on that. So if you're feeling that inner pull saying yes, and if you know that the next 10 months need a different identity and a different level of support, then just let us know, comment private or portal, or send us a DM or a Telegram message, and we'll take that next step together. And of course, if you've got a question, just reach out and we'll get it answered for you so you can make an aligned decision either way. Alrighty, thank you for letting me share that. I am delighted now. Let's do the draw. And this is for everyone who is live with us. So you've got the opportunity to win a business forecasting in the Akashic Records guided activation right now. All you need to do is share your takeaway. So I would love to know, what is your takeaway from our session together? This will really enable you to anchor it in, to embody it, to pop it into the comments. I'm going to choose one to win. What we do is we choose a number before we come on live, and then we see who's who's shared their takeaway in that position, and then they're the winner. You can share your takeaways privately by just messaging just me, and I see it here. Alrighty. Hopefully that answered your questions. Right, where has everybody gone? There we go. Let's see who's going to be the winner. Oh my word, this is so exciting seeing all of these. Okay, so we have. Okay, so many takeaways. This is fantastic already. So where are we? I can see who has won. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you ready? The winner is Angela. Congratulations, Angela. You have won the Akashic Record Business Forecasting. Congratulations. Please do let the team know your full name. You can message me privately here or email us at clientcare@louisahavers.com so that we can make sure we're sending it to the right Angela. That would be wonderful. Alrighty. And as you're just wrapping up here now, inviting you just to take a moment to think, on a scale of 1 to 10, how aligned are you feeling to your intentions that you tuned into and created at the start of our time together? Pop it in the comments. Let me see where everybody's at. We're going to be back tomorrow, where we're going to be expanding your nervous system to hold more wealth, visibility, and innovation. We're going to be helixing again together. And let me know who's going to be here live, who's going to be on the replay. Those of you joining us on replay, keep the conversation. Let's continue the conversation in Telegram. I'm going to be tuning into Telegram after my next calls I have with some private clients. And then so I'll be in there. If you've got any questions, pop them in there. We'll keep the conversation flowing. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, fantastic. And everyone who shared a takeaway, your name is going to also be popped into our grand finale draw on Thursday for the Ultimate Akashic Bundle and the year-long membership of Dream Bigger. So you've got more opportunities to win, so that you haven't lost the opportunity. There's more manifesting time. And of course, those of you on the replay, please do share your takeaways in the Telegram group. Do hashtag replay takeaway, and we'll pop your name into the draw on Thursday for our grand finale as well. Alrighty, everybody. With that, it is a wrap. I will see you all tomorrow. Sending you all loads of love. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you tomorrow. Lots and lots of love. Take care.